may take longer. We just don't know. But to project out that all these things are going to have catastrophic consequences without knowing how this is going to shake out, I think it's a little foolish.
No, despite what it is,
the opposite. Opposite reaction from China. We're going to see the opposite reaction from the European Union.
Yeah,
opposite demeanor from Canada.
Right.
Do you know? But you can't bring Vietnam in because
I was just saying, I think it's interesting to focus on Vietnam when there was tariffs imposed on a whole swath of countries, and some of which had not. The most important trading partners have actually, if they haven't already had a negative response, they're signaling that they're going to have some type of reciprocal response to it.
Right, that's right. So because the reason is because Vietnam is much more of a smaller country, and then they already have like tariffs in place. So whereas when you have countries that they have more of a free trade agreement and much larger bloc like European Union. So Brussels have the advantage of having all of these countries that it represents. They are able to do certain things, but despite of their coming out with their tariff policies against this thing, without that thing, there is already certain amount of damage. But if European Union were to retaliate even further, you could expect even much more of an effect in the economy.
Yeah, but you're talking about China there. Do you not think China, their economy is built on the idea of exporting what they make? That the biggest export market in the world that they export to would not give a certain amount of leverage to cut a deal with them?
No. China already have in the past, they have been diversifying and becoming less reliant on the United States. They've been actually trading much more within the Asian country. That reflected in the stock market. So European stock market fell, United States stock market fell, the Chinese stock market is still holding up. So, but yeah, the thing with like Vietnam and so forth, even if Vietnam decides that they want to lower their tariff, well, China has actually bypassed the first Donald Trump's tariff by moving some of his factories and so forth to other regions. So even if Vietnam wants to do that, well, if it does agree with that, well, China sort of wins by able to supply from Vietnam into the United States.
Do you really think Thailand and Indonesia is the same market for China to sell to versus the United States? You really don't see a difference?
There's a lot of complexity here. Like the global trade network is really complicated, right? So what's Donald Trump is doing, imposing these tariffs like 10%, like Antarctica. As far as we know, that nobody actually lives there. What has the penguins and the seals done to Donald Trump?
Well, I would say Steve's questions kind of reflect something I said earlier, where the idea is that, we're levying these tariffs against them, and because we're the largest market, they're going to have to do something. I think it misses the fact that the tariffs, one, are going to be paid for by American producers, right? The companies like the Walmarts, the Apples that have to take these things from the port, number one. Number two, because these are American producers that have to pay the higher prices, it's also American business people who are going to suffer from these tariffs. Not just, not some random guy in China or random factory owner in China. This is a broadside not just against the Chinese economy, but American entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
because
but that's
going to suffer as well. So I say that to say this.
Hola, losers. ¿Cómo